we are usually calling a constructor. So, hindi man talaga malikayan na magtawag ng constructor. So, we will update it on each of the constructor calls. So, meaning if they use the empty constructor, then person number will be incremented by 1. So, let's say here, person number plus plus. And we will do this code here for all constructors. Okay. So, again, for all constructors, meaning it will be incremented in any type of constructor that we call. So, if I were to use this constructor, the person number will still increment by 1. And if I don't have the data initially, meaning I use the empty or default constructor, it will still increment by 1 again. So, let's go back here. And actually, let's go to the main method. Okay, so of course we had an example before on what to do, but let's remove all that and let's go back to person. So here, let's say person pers is equal to new person. Now, is that assignment initialization declaration? What is that? That's initialization, right? And if we were to remove this part, what is it now? That's a declaration. And if we were to say first is equal to new person here, what is that? This is just assignment. Okay? Again, this is declaration, this is assignment, and the combination of both is initialization. Okay? So make sure that if that term ever comes up again in any of your quizzes, it probably hints on what the format or the syntax of your answer should be. Okay? So I will just go back to our first version, which is that and initialization. So next is, now that we have called the constructor, again, this is the constructor here. Since we have called it, the person number should be incremented by 1. So let's see here. Let's print out number of person. Okay. So plus first dot person number, like that one. Okay. So we created a object. So again, we created an object of person. Okay. So we have here, of course, this code here. And if we were to run this one, what will be the value of person number? What will be the value of the person number for this part here? It will be 1. Because of course, it will start at 0 and it will be incremented by 1. Okay? Let's see here. And of course, the number of person is 1. So meaning, isa pa lang yung ginawa natin na person. Now, let's create a second object here. And let's call this first 1. And that 1. Now, what will be the value of person number here?
1.
What will be the value? It will still be 1. Okay, let's see. Okay, so as you can see in the console, the number of person is still 1 because of course, first owns its own version of person number. And if we were to use first 1 here, and then let's display that one, it will also have its number of person be equal to 1 also. But does that make sense? If we are going to take account how many person objects we are creating, would each one of the objects have its own version of the field? Or should they share the same field? So that is practically what we are creating here. If we want our code to take into account how many objects we have created, if we just do what we did before, where we declared a field, then both of them will have their own count of the person, which does not make sense. it should be that when I created the second person, the value for both of them should have been 2. So how do we make sure that person number is shared among all objects? So that is where the static keyword comes into place. So let's go back to person here. And now, instead of just an int, let's declare this as a static int. So let's go back. Okay, let's save that one. It's not a static int person number. Now, I didn't change anything here in the main method, but let's see if we run this one. We can see now that the number of person is now equal to 2. It was 1 when we first created this first, and it became 2 when we created first 1. And we can see it more clearly if we were to, let's say, move one of the prints. Okay, let's move one of the prints here. So first, let's remove person 1. Let's remove that one. Okay, so meaning kay first lang tayo magtingin. Okay, then let's see that one. We can see that when we created first, the value of the number of person is 1. And when we created the second object of first 1, even though we only called first, not first 1, the value of number of person is still updated to 2. And that's why when we modify a field into a static, it is shared among all instances of that class. So meaning you can take this or to liken it in basically an identity of your class. Your section is 1C, 1B. So your section is 1B. All of you identify as part of that section. It's your section CS1B. Now, nobody owns that identity, but all of you share it, right? So meaning, if the department was to update the name of your section, all of you will have your sections updated at the same time. So that's practically what a static field is. Technically, there's only one data of it, but if that was updated, all of you that are part of that class will be updated also at the same time. So here, when person number, which is shared among all objects, was updated, it was incremented to 1. And then when we created a new object of person, even though we called first, since all of the objects of person share this attribute, then it was initially 1 and then incremented into 2 when we created the second person. Okay? So meaning, again, it is a shared field. Nobody owns it but the class. All of you. All of the members of person. Okay? So questions for this one? No questions? Okay, let's have one more example. So let's say here, for a student, so for this, actually, wag muna dito. Let's go back to class here and let's create a student object. Okay? So let's have here student stud is equal to new student. Okay? Okay? So let's move first one below. So let's move it here. Let's call upon it like that one. Okay? So again, what will be displayed in the first print here? What will be displayed? It will be, what will be the first value that will be displayed? 1. And then here, ano yung value natin? 2. And dito? 3. Okay, so yun yung pa natin. It's 1, 2, then 3. And let's see if that is the case. And it is the case. The number of person is incremented even though student is not explicitly a person. But we know that student extends person, meaning every time we create a student, we also create a person. So, by extension, when we create a student, we are also calling the person constructor, and meaning the person number, a static field of a person, is also updated for a student. Because again, it inherits from person, meaning all of the things of person is also part of student. Okay? And that's also the case for, let's say, teaching staff. Now, teaching staff inherits from staff, and then staff inherits from person. So let's see if we were to create a teaching staff object here. Teaching staff, TS, is equal to new teaching staff. Okay, and that one here, and you will see, okay, so you will see here. So what will be the value at the end? Will it be 4 or will it still be 3? 4. Okay, let's see that one. So of course it will be 4. And of course, if we were to write that down, okay, so teaching staff inside this constructor is a super keyword. Now, who is the super here? It will be sino? Sino yung super ng teaching staff?
Staff.
It will be staff. So meaning we are calling the empty constructor of staff. So sa empty constructor ng staff, we have another super. So sino super ng staff?
Person.
It's person. So let's go to person. So inside person, we have the code is person number plus plus. So when we create a teaching staff, we go to the empty constructor of staff, and when we create a staff, we go to the empty constructor of person, and by calling the empty constructor of person, we are incrementing person number by 1. So even though they are not directly connected, since by identity, teaching staff is a staff, and being a staff is also being a person, person number will still be incremented. Okay? So let's now have another static example. Let's say for student, all of the students here will belong to one section. So let's have a static string section. Okay? So for this one, okay, that one there. And then for student here, of course, if we were to print this out, stud dot, actually dapat i-set ko na lang siya dun sa student yung section. Let's say, for this one, it's a 1B, that one. And then on here, it will now be stud dot, dito. Should be student dot, okay, section. Okay. So usually if something is declared static, you should not really use a object to call on the static field. You should use the class to call on the field. Because of course, if it's static, it belongs to the class. If your section name belongs to the class, then it would be appropriate to say that the whole class owns the identity, which is the section name. So here, we are practically practicing it, meaning since section is a static field of student, it would be more practical to use the student class directly to call on the identity it owns. So we can also do that for all the times we called person number. So here also, and here, we can now just use, instead of an object of person, let's just call on the class person, and we are still allowed to do so. So if we were to run this one, okay, so we can now see that it will still display 1, 2, 3, 4, and the section of student will still be displayed as 1B. So again, if it's a static field, then you can use the class directly, not the object. We can see that example, of course, with one of the things that we use, or we example before with the Okay, let's print this out. One of the ones that we used before is math.py. Okay? Okay. Math.py. Okay? So, when we used math.py before, we can see that we did not create an object of math. We directly called on the class itself, math, and then used call on the field pi. Because technically, pi here is a static field, and math owns that value. We are also doing that with the versions of static that we created ourselves, where we called on the class and then directly called on the field that it owns. So it's practically the same with calling math.py. Math owns the static field pi. Okay? So they are the same thing. Okay? So questions? No questions? A person, and ang ginawa lang natin is ginagdagan lang natin ng person plus plus sa constructors. Okay? Okay? So I think if we were to update here, student section is equal to, say, 1Z. Okay. Of course, if you were to update it, you'll probably do an assignment like that one, where it was initially 1B, which was displayed here, and then we updated it to 1Z, and then printed it out again. It's now 1Z here. Okay? So you can still update it, just as person number is constantly updated. Now, for a static field, you don't really want it to be private, so you usually just leave it as is. So a static int person number, a static section, so a static string section. So it's fine to not make them or encapsulate them. Leave it as is. Okay? So the class owns it. Let the class be the one to handle it. Okay? Okay, so questions for the static keyword. Are we good with that one? No questions? Okay, if there are no questions, let's proceed to the other concept, abstraction, which involves the abstract keyword. So one of the things that we have to clarify is, again, usually in any context that we create a program, we don't want to be vague. We don't want to be very broad yung mga terms na ginagamit natin. So, for example, if we were to create a school system, which was the context, for example, in our last session, we don't really want to just create a person. If someone is part of the school, they have to be a student or a staff. Ganun na yun. So, if we create a member of this school, they have to be a student or a staff. They cannot be just a person. They have to be a student or a staff. But we are allowed to create or instantiate a person object. We are allowed to do so here, right? We are able to do that, and then we can also create a student class. Now, usually we want to avoid that one because person here is very vague for what we are doing. If this is a school system and every member should be either a student or a staff, creating a person object is problematic because we don't really know if that person is, again, either a student or a staff in our system. They have to be either one of them. So, to make sure that there is no way for you to create a person, you must abstract the person class. So let's go to person here, and the only thing you need to do is, instead of just public class person, you will say public abstract person. Okay? So now it's public abstract a public abstract class person. So now, ganyan na yung pag-write natin. If we were to save this one, we now go back to our main class, and you can see now that every moment or every line of code that we created or instantiated in person, we have an error because since a person is now abstract, we can see that the symbol also changes here. It's not the same as all other classes here. It has its own version of the logo. So for the person, since it's an abstract class now, you cannot instantiate anything that is a person. They have to be something else. So for this one, instead of saying person first is equal to new person, since that is not allowed, we can now we are now required to either pick that they are now a student. Okay? So that one. So I'm allowed to do so. So of course, since student is a person, we can declare it as a person, then assign it the student. Assign it to the student class. So for this one also, let's say person first one is equal to, instead of a new person, this has to be a, for this one, let's have this be a staff. Okay? So, again, even though we declared it as a person object, we completed its instantiation with not as a person, but as a member of its subclasses. Meaning it's declared initially as a person, but it will be a student. And it will be, again, initially declared as a person, but it will be a staff at the end. And of course, you could just avoid using person at all and just say staff first one is equal to new staff. That's also something that you can do. So usually, again, we abstract a class that has a broad description or our system. And again, it can be case to case, but for our example right now, since this is a school system that only has either a student or a staff, we don't really want to create just a person. So that person has to be either a student or a staff at the end. So that's why instead of saying new person at the end there, they have to be a new student or a new staff. So that's practically abstraction. It allows us to create a blueprint of sorts. It's a blueprint because we are required to follow it. Since person is abstract, we cannot create an instance of person, so we have to follow what we can do. And that's why it's a blueprint. We are required to follow some things. Okay? So, questions for abstract?
So sir, distribute na agad yung values ng their specific class.
Ganyan na talaga siya. Sadyang hindi mo lang talaga siya, hindi ka makagawa ng instance ng person. You can declare a person, but you cannot instantiate a person. Paano talaga? Basically, paano kasi siya for just to be efficient, essentially. Kasi if you're creating a system, let's say let's say this is a business cafe, and then you have a person class and you have a guest class. A guest class extends person. Now, if someone comes to your business, should they be just a person or should they be a guest? Right? Diba? If someone enrolls or comes into this school, should they just be a person or should they be a student, a staff, or maybe just a guest? Right? You cannot just have a person. They have to be one of its subclasses. So by abstracting the broader class, we can make sure that we know who that person is. It's either a student, a staff, or maybe you could add one a visitor. Ganun. Yeah, it allows us to be specific. And you know, mas better man to, okay? If you are more specific, then mas less ang imuhang i-take into account. Kasi if it's specific, alam mo saan ka nagkamali, saan yung dapat na i-focus mo, and through abstraction, you are allowed to do so. Okay?
So, kung hindi na abstract, sir, if na-update mo student mo siya, effective yung
What do you mean? Like, I mean, wala man talagang nagbago, Bart. Ang ibago pa lang is abstract lang siya. And all of the other ones that were declared as student and instantiated as student did not really change at all.
Hindi na makita ang person.
Yeah. Person will just be a class that we cannot instantiate. Yun lang talaga. It's not something we can instantiate. Yun lang. I-stop lang tayo from doing so. But all of the other things that we can do before, we are still allowed. It's just that we cannot instantiate a person. Ganun lang. It stops us from doing so. Okay? So, questions? Hindi kailangan. Again, it's a case-by-case basis. For this example, I have a school system that only accepts a student or a staff. So, the only thing I have to abstract is the person superclass. Okay? But let's say, I'm going to, let's say, hire a staff. And it cannot be a staff only. They have to be either a teaching or non-teaching staff. If required na talaga na they have to be either or, then we can abstract staff here and make sure that it's either a teaching staff or a non-teaching staff. You know? So it really depends on what you will do with your system. If there are requirements to be followed, then abstract the ones that are broad. Okay? Okay, the only thing I changed for that one is gilagyan ko lang tayo siya na ito. Abstract. Okay? Questions? Questions? No. Since, again, if i-abstract mo siya, hindi mo siya ma-instantiate at all. So you can declare a staff, but you cannot instantiate a staff, meaning walang new staff na line. So, paano lang talaga na yung subclasses na yung magamit mo? Okay? So again, if we were to do that one, so let's say for staff, hindi siya pwede na staff lang, they have to be a teaching or non-teaching staff. Let's abstract this one. So we abstract natin yung staff. Let's save this one. And of course, in our main method, we instantiated a person as a new staff. So we are not allowed to do so. Let's try to do teaching staff. And as you can see, we are allowed to do so. So since teaching staff extends to person and staff extends, since teaching staff extends staff and staff extends person, we can declare it as a person initially and then finalize it to be a teaching staff at the end. Because of course, if it's a teaching staff, are they a person? They are, and if they are teaching staff, they are also a staff. So they can have multiple identities. So para lang kung apelyado ng mga lola and mother. You don't really, usually you don't gain that surname, but you know that you're still part of that family of surnames, right? So yeah, ganyan. So you abstract that new staff, you are now required to have it be one of the subclasses. Okay? So questions? Again. No questions? No questions. Okay, so next is, if we can abstract a class, can we abstract something else? So for this one, let's go to our person, and let's say, if a subclass is created for a person, they have to have their own version of an introduction. So, and of course before, naglagay-lagay na tayo ng mga introduction. Pero what if, maggawa ko ng bagong person class, right? So, if we were to create a new class here, okay. So let's create a new class that will extend person here, new, and then Java class. Let's say this one is the visitor of the school, so visitor. Okay. And then for visitor, it will extend person. So now this school requires us to have a person be either a student, as staff, and again, whichever staff it is, and a visitor also. So it's either of the three. But again, I can leave the class as is. Walang error, di ba? Allowed ako na ganyan lang siya. So, would that be right na ang visitor natin has no introduction if all other subclasses has an introduction? So, in those cases na, of course, I'm allowed to extend to person. Walang nag-require sa akin na magawa ng introduction. But what if I have to make sure that all subclasses has to have an introduction? Then, if there is a requirement, then we can abstract a method. So, we can go back to person here. We can go back to person. And then, let's go to the introduction part. And instead of writing this part here, actually, let's remove this part. Control X. Okay? And actually, let's remove the return part. Let's just say it's like that one. And then, let's also just add the abstract keyword. That one. Okay? So, this is now an abstract method. Meaning, we don't really have to define it. It's just that, since this is an abstract method, all subclasses that will extend this class specific person has to have their own version of an introduction. Okay? So, by abstracting a method, and hindi mo actually, mali na pag lagyan mo siya ng definition. Meaning, mali na may curly brackets. Wala dapat curly brackets. Dapat ganito lang. Public, abstract, return type, identifier, and parenthesis. Ganun lang talaga ang abstract na method. Walang ilagay anything else. So, wala. Kasi hindi man din magamit to ever. This is just a blueprint. Again, if we abstract something, it's a blueprint of sorts. You are required to follow it. So if this is an abstract class for introduction, when we go back to our visitor, okay? When we go back to our visitor, we now have an error here. It says that visitor is not abstract and does not override the abstract method introduction. So we are required now to have our own version of an introduction. But let's also go back to student. A student, of course, has yung super.introduction. Pero of course, may definition ba yung introduction ng person? Wala, di ba? Gitanggal natin yun apart. So for this one here, this will practically be the first part of your introduction na. So, of course, hindi to siya name, age, and address. This has to be get name. Okay? Get age. So yung introduction sa person kanina, gimove ko na lang siya sa student. Get address. That one. Okay, let me copy this part here. Okay, copy. Control C. And then, again, this one also needs to be changed into that one. Okay? Okay, so okay na yan siya. So as you can see, student and staff that directly extends to person did not have its own errors because they already override the introduction, the abstract introduction that was declared by person. Again, in person, we have an abstract introduction method, meaning all subclasses of person are required to have an introduction method. And so, here, we have an introduction method. For staff, we also have an introduction method. For teaching staff, we also have an introduction. But for visitor, we don't have an abstract method we don't have an introduction method. So let's go here. Okay, and then implement all abstract classes. And now here we have a format for the introduction. Again, let's go back. Y. Okay. So right now, click ko yung visitor natin na error. Pasan yung error na field. And then I press Alt, Enter. And it suggests to me ano yung gawin ko. And then, gawin ko na lang is implement all abstract methods. Meaning, maggawa ka ng sarili mong version ng introduction. So So, implement all abstract methods. And as you can see, bibigyan niya ako ng code base na basically my introduction. And of course, hindi throw new unsupported. They have to be, ay kanina dito kay, paano naman siya, like just a text na gilagay nila. So instead here, this will just return, ipan pala natin na, this will just return panala, ganyan. So, right now, visitor, if we were to save this, wala na siyang error because my own version na siya na introduction. By the way, don't really mind the override annotation here. This is just a tag. You can, of course, not write it down. It's just like to allow other programmers that will read your code to know that this is an override method, meaning you are overriding a previous version of that method. And what I mean by that is, when we go back to person here, my introduction, di ba? My introduction method. But wala na siya nakalagay na anything. So, this is available to all other classes. Kasi of course, it's a public abstract. So, if it's available to all other classes, then if we create our own version of introduction, we are technically overriding the original definition. Of course, ang original, walang definition talaga. So, we are just overriding with a new definition of our own. So, right here, ang warning lang yan is practically mag-override ka. Lagyan mo lang siya ng tag annotation. But it's not required. Your code will still run regardless if meron siya or wala. Okay? So visitor, na may introduction na method na gipa-require ng person, we have, of course, no errors for that one. Now, of course, maybe we can create one more example. Let's say for person, they have to have all of the person objects, or all of the person subclasses must have a public abstract void greetings. Okay, greetings. Okay. So again, this is an abstract method from person that all subclasses must implement. So, bago naman to, di ba? Now, as you can see, all the subclasses, student, teaching staff, probably staff also, and visitor have errors. Kasi of course, do they have their own version of greetings? Wala, di ba? So they have to implement it. So when we go back to, let's go to student first. We can see here, my error siya. Let's just Alt, Enter, and then implement all abstract methods. Okay, para matanggal yung error. And we can see here, my version na siya na greetings. Of course, we can have our own definition of this by just writing here. System that hello student. Ako. Ganyan. So, ang definition ng greetings niya is student. Okay. Okay. So, ang definition ng student ng greetings is just going to print out, hello student ako. Now, let's go to staff. Okay. So, wala siyang error because I don't know why wala siyang error, pero dapat meron din yung greetings. But let's go back to to teaching staff. So for this one, implement natin yung all abstract classes, and you can see that my greetings na siya ngayon. And then let's just remove this part. And then for teaching staff, ang iyahang greetings is of course, hello, gaturo ako. Okay? And then for visitor, let's implement all abstract methods. And then let's change the definition to system out namisita rako. Ganyan. So, as you can see, when I say the definition of a method, I'm practically as I say ano yung nasa loob. Ano yung nakalagay in between the curly brackets. So when I say what is the definition, or they have their own definition of that method, meaning my own version sila ng code inside that method. So, ang definition ng greetings sa visitor is nag-print out siya ng ito, na may visitor ako. So, again, abstraction allows us to create blueprints. Meaning, if it's a blueprint, then all subclasses has to follow the format. So, meaning, person is abstract, meaning we cannot really instantiate a person object. And they also require us, by creating abstract methods, to have methods that are required for any subclass. So practically, para siyang if family pa to kayo, let's say your family, all of the members of that family are law students. So parang required ka, if you are part of that family, to be a law student. Hindi ko siya required, pero brag ka lang. It really is being perpetuated, essentially. So, if it's abstract, you have to follow it. Okay? So, any subclass of any class that has a subclass and it has an abstract method, you have to create your own version of it. Okay? So, questions? Questions? Alright, of course, void kasi siya. Diba? Kasi public void beto, so hindi ako mag-return at all. Ay, kasi string man, may return data type man siya. Dito man tayo, void man siya. Hindi, kailangan mo, basically, if tawagin ko yung introduction, dapat inside something na makaprint. So, sa class here, if tawagin ko ang introduction, then tawagin ko siya inside the system out. So, let's say ts.introduction. So, of course, may return type siya. But, if tawagin ko yung void, hindi ko dapat ilagay siya sa system out. Dapat tawagin ko lang siya, let's say visitor. So, let's say visit, actually, pwede naman yung ts. ts.greetings. Ganun na. Ayun lang. So, if void siya, hindi mo dapat siya ilagay sa anything na makaprint. Pero kung may return type siya, ilagay mo siya sa something na makaprint, like a JOption message dialog or system.out, ganito. So, since may return to, ilagay mo siya inside something na makaprint. Pero ito, na void, you cannot really have it be inside anything na makaprint. Kasi anong i-print niya? Wala, kasi it's void. So, it would be a method call lang, ganyan lang. Gawin niya, which is mag-print. Kaya usually pag void, kaya ang printing inside its own method. Okay, question?
Sir, what if pareha sa method, sir, na kay attributes na gusto niyo may abstract, sir, para i-fill in bitaw some other...
Ano?
Ay, pareha sa method, sir, nga introduction, like, di ba, kailangan i-implement sa all nag-extend sa... What if naapoy kay attributes, sir, about name and age, sir, nga kailangan ko i-implement sa other...
Hindi yun pwede. Kasi nag-overlap na, di ba? Ang purpose ba na nag-inheritance tayo is to allow yung classes na nag-handle for it, to handle it na already. If student also has its name, would that overlap with the purpose of person? Kasi ang person, di ba, nag-handle sa name?
Ay, tama na.
Right? Yun yung purpose ng inheritance na part. If attributes yung nag-overlap, allow the one that already handles it to do its work. Yun siya. And ang purpose ng abstraction is to require the methods na dapat defined in all subclasses. Okay? So, inheritance, siya mag-handle sa attributes. Abstraction handles the methods that are required. Okay? So, questions? Walang question? If walang question, you can proceed to a practice activity that will exempt you with the laboratory. Okay?